Hello folks, and welcome to another edition of Chitchat with me, Brahanan. Today, I'm going to have a conversation with my big brother, a senior brother, Awal Mohammed. He's very well known in the political space, especially with his unique communication style. And he has been in this business for over decades, if not over 20 years. And he has served in both or participated in the politics of the two dominant political parties, both the NDC and the NPP. But today, he is a member of the New Patriotic Party, and we'll be having a conversation on quite a lot of issues. So first off, let's begin by saying Salaam Alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, so Awal Mohammed, you've become very popular on social media, especially Facebook, and people are always in your comment section, and you are always in the comment section, of people. You work, you are a family man, but how do you make time to be active on social media?
Thank you so much. And you see, usually if you have passion for anything, you make time and do it. The thing is that I do social media as a hobby, and because it's a hobby and it's where you test what you have even read and so on, so it becomes easier for me to just get on and do it. And again, I do it on phone mostly, so it becomes easier that even as we stand here, within few minutes I can still go online and check what's happened and so on. So I think that's the reason. I do not have a dedicated time that I have dedicated to within a day to go on social media. If I'm doing something, I can go off for like 3-4 hours. But for me to say, well, this is a time that I want to know. Any time that there is the need for me to go online, I do.
But for me, at a point, I felt like you are addicted, because the moment I open my feed, I see something about you. Either you making a post, you engaging in some debate whatsoever. So it's not an addiction to me.
It's not, because when you check, I don't post more than 5 in a day. If it is really the need for me to post even 10, I do. But sometimes I even post 1.
Okay.
I don't even post, I post 1, then I engage. My issue is that on the page, it must be engaging. So I have to get topics that are very much engaging, especially current affairs. We delve into it, then we debate. If you come and insult, I leave it. But if you ask a question, I answer you. If you bring a counter, I also have to bring a counter. So we use it to interact and at least rack our minds around a lot of topics.
But there are times that people sometimes attack you, abuse you verbally, or for a want of, to make it very clear or blunt, people insult you and all that. How do you sometimes, take some of these, excesses?
I laugh it off, because this is not the first time. I remember my days in NDC. I post and you get the MP people come after me, start insulting you and so on. When you see someone resort to an insult, it means the person has nothing to say. If really you have something to say, you state it. You don't insult the person. It means the person is right, but you think it's not supposed to come from the person.
Okay.
And I think that I have always maintained that there's a thin line between love and hate. When I was in NDC, you had MPP people attacking me. Today in MPP, the attacks is much more than when I was in NDC, because they feel that this is someone that we think is supposed to be with us, he's no longer with us, and so on, and now this is what is happening. So I think that I take it in good strides. I pick it as one of those things. Initially, my wives would be angry. They said, look at this person, block him, delete it. And I said, no, leave the person. It's only exposing himself. Now they are used to the extent that when they see insult, they can even screenshot it and come and show me that, have you seen this? Then we laugh it off.
Okay.
That is the beauty of it. I had never been really pained by any insult.
But what about
the only thing is that
sometimes
when you spew blatant falsehood against my person, you see, there is a saying in Chi that Ponkwa Bodama and Iranum Bodam. If you say something against me that is not true, I will not come and say it is not true.
Okay.
As a communications person, you understand. The moment you say it's not true, then they will ask you, what is the truth? You understand? And it will trend.
Yeah.
So sometimes I delete them.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
I delete.
so what about when people associate you with lies? There are times that even when you are on a panel with others, sometimes you say, "Oh, you are lying." How?
Everyone, including yourself, as a journalist, is aware that I had never peddled any falsehood. And again, on set, my trademark has been a factual person. I always quote from news items, from websites, and so on. So sometimes I mention things that people think, because they have not heard it before, they think it's not true. Then they will tell you it is not true.
Are you sometimes bothered with that?
I am not, because if I get the opportunity, I will be bothered if the host do not give me the opportunity to come back.
Okay.
That's when I will be bothered, because someone watched and heard that I mentioned something. I remember one day on a set, I mentioned that Afarijan was picked at a beer bar. And he was
I
appointed.
remember that. Yes.
Then the person said, I am a liar.
Okay.
You understand? Fortunately, the host gave me the opportunity to prove it. I pulled out Working with Rollins, the book by Awal, and read the relevant portion that he said that he wanted to go and meet a certain doctor who will be appointed as EC boss. Then he met Afarijan at a drinking spot. Then he started engaging. Do you know the residence of this doctor? He said, yeah, I don't know the rest. And then they started engaging. When he engaged him, he felt that this is someone who is deep and a political science lecturer who will be able to do that job. So he returned to Rollins and told Rollins that now I have someone.
Okay.
But because he didn't hear the story, I read. I'm an avid reader. So I read. Yeah. So when I read, I don't also play with little details.
Yeah.
So when I put out that details that you don't know, the onus lies on you to prove that indeed what I'm saying is false. That's why on set, if you say anything and I say it is not true, I have the facts to back it.
Okay.
So when they tell you you are a liar, without necessarily pointing out the lies, it means they aren't comfortable, or they even don't know those set of facts.
Yeah.
And they think that if they did not know, it means they are not true. Don't forget that today, if you transition from a journalist into a politician, you will be coming out with a lot of stories that people will tell you is not true, because you have worked as a journalist and know every story. Today, you've read all the dailies. So you know all these stories. They are at the back of your mind. So when you sit on a set and someone says something, you think that no, it's not true, because you know the truth.
Yeah.
You understand? So that is the reason I was a journalist. I practiced for 9 years before I started active politics. Yeah. So there are stories that I have reviewed before, and I have been doing these communications for well over 10 years. So there are stories that I have even discussed.
Yeah. So
if it comes up today, it only refreshes my memory. Or I can go online to just refresh my memory, get the story and refresh my memory. So, I remember there is a story on Ibrahim Muhammad dredging the Odo. Yeah. The man said Ibrahim Muhammad used his equipment and his expertise to dredge the Odo. I told him it's not true, because he did not use his equipment to do that. Then he said no. This is a story that we discussed in 2015 when I was an NDC person defending that story. Yeah. So it is a story that I knew already. Yeah. You understand? So when he did that, then he challenged me. And I went and read on Daily Graphic that indeed he used his expertise, but he sold that equipment to the state. And his engineers are the only people who could man the team. Yeah. So he had to use it. Use his expertise to help us. He did it for free, but he used our equipment. Even at a point in time, there were rumors that the equipment found their way on a construction site and so on.
Yeah. So it's been 10 years ever since you transitioned from the MPP to from the NDC rather to the MPP. I mean, do you still have some sort of relationship with your friends back then? I know you were doing quite a lot of activities in the Ashanti region. I'm asking this because quite recently, Dr. Okoboy was in the news for taking pictures with, some, NGC members, and it became a whole, lot of issues, especially as he intends to run for Greater Accra Regional Chairman. Do you, also find yourself sometimes entangled in some of these issues where, people still believe that, oh, you are not really an MPP person because of maybe your relationship with some NDC?
You can't discard your old friends, but you have to be only calculated in your dealings with them.
Okay.
For the optics. You understand? You were in a media house that I know. At the time they needed you most was the time you left to this media house. So do you say you will discard all of them? You are in competition with them, but you don't discard them. You understand? So yes, I have a relationship. Almost all the names that you have, who have come from Kumasi are my friends. They used to be my friends.
Yeah.
We occasionally have a chat. But you see, the problem with what happened with Okoboy is that the optics for our grassroots, at this point in time, there are people within the NDC that when you are even friends with them and people see it from outside, they become livid and angry. Someone like Sami Jenfi. Sami Jenfi single-handedly did a lot of damage to the MPP. He used some lies, some were facts. You understand? You see? But at the point in time, they said Haptel belonged to Dr. Bawumia. They were the people who said this. Now, after they came into government, the Attorney General and the bigwigs went and celebrated Haptel and said this is an indigenous company that has been working, spanning before even MPP came to power, before Dr. Bawumia even became active in politics. But they said it. That's why I said that. They mingled everything with lies and so on. So if today you could point to the lies, and the person is now a CEO, and you see someone in the stature of Dr. Okoboy going to really run to him and say, let's take pictures.
Football.
I'm saying that. Run to him and say, let's take pictures. That is where they think is wrong. You see, people did not
but there was somewhere that unites everyone across the world.
I don't have it today. As I stand here, if Broja Jenfi comes here, I walk towards him or he walk towards me. Same as Sami Jenfi. Because we're together in Kumasi, doing the work together. I always see Yamin as my boss because he's one of the people who at least grooming me. I got some groomings from him and so on. You get it? So when I see him standing anywhere, I go.
So
if the paparazzis pick pictures and so on, sometimes because of the sentimentalities of our people, it's better you review them and look at it and say that, well, these should not go out and so on. So look at Akufo-Addo and Mahama. They have a deeper relationship. There are videos on YouTube today. Even today, I go to YouTube and download the videos of him, the two of them debating on GTV. You understand? So after the debate, when they come out and even talk, they were all together in Parliament as well. So they are friends. That's the reason the president said Akufo-Addo has called him on phone to congratulate him.
Yeah.
Bawumia has called him on phone to congratulate him because they grew up together in the same neighborhood. He grew up with Dr. Bawumia in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And again, their fathers were friends because they serve in the same government.
So talking about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he has made some appointments. I was going to ask you earlier about the National Nasara Coordinator, but you attempted the last time. Very soon there's going to be another contest as part of your reorganization. Would you give it another shot?
Well, as a politician, never say never. You understand? Because as we stand here, it is true that there is a clarion call for me to come and take over. Even the time that I lost, the circumstances that led to my loss. We have two sets of delegates. One are TESCON and the others are constituency Nasara coordinators and their deputies. TESCON institutions were over 400 and the constituency Nasara coordinators are around 470 something.
Okay.
Now on the grounds, and everyone knew that my stronghold is the TESCON. On the grounds, whilst they were in the queue, they were prevented from voting. And the person who won had 200 and something votes to win. If Tescon even 200 or 300 had voted, they would have voted for me. Because at a point in time when I contested, none of them could even communicate with the Tescon people. Aziz could not communicate in English with the Tescon people.
Oh, but I've interviewed Aziz and in English, and he spoke.
Yes, but you speak the English.
Yes, but when you, so he communicates. But when you say, I'm sure other people,
at the time that they were campaigning, even when you review his interview, you see a lot of mistakes.
But is it not about the effectiveness of the person?
It's not. Because the Tescon people will want to see a role model. They will want to see someone they can transition into his hands so that he can groom them.
So you think that you would have done a better job given the time
but
he's been in office?
Everyone has said it. That indeed, that's the reason they are calling on me to come back. I have not declared that I will
So you will listen to the call?
I'm saying that. I have not declared that I will contest.
But you will listen to the call?
But I have seen posts and so on going around that I am in the race. But I have not declared that I will contest.
So I'm just asking, you give it a shot? Because the grassroots are calling you. Yes, would you respond?
I'll have to do an evaluation after the constituency elections. After the constituency elections, I do an evaluation. And I'll come up. Coming back, I will come to you so that at least you'll be able to help me broadcast it.
So talking about MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, I've seen that you've been appointed as the party spokesperson on, transport. Is that your specialty, and how far are you faring in that role?
When you check the committees are made up of experts and communications experts. So the expert and industry people are there. I am a communications person. You standing here, you can speak to for any ministry, because the most important, you have that training to do that well. I am a communications person. I'm a trained journalist, and I have worked as a journalist for 9 years. Again, in the corporate world, I have worked as a communications person for 8 years in a state agency, and I have masters in communication studies. So I'm a communications expert. So mingling with these people, the industry people will bring the story, then we break it down for the people to understand it through our communications prowess. That's the reason when you check every committee, you see a communications person in that committee. The industry people will bring it, then you can break it down for the people to understand.
So how would that translate into victory for the MPP and Dr. Mahmoud Baumia in the 2028 elections? We just have about barely 2 years to go, and a lot is happening within the party. How do you go past this challenging phase? Recently, some people were agitating and petitioning the party for someone to go. So in the midst of all these changes that you are making vis-a-vis the pockets of issues that you have, how do you or how do you envision the party handling it to ensure that you have or you get success in 2020?
There must be discipline in any party. And again, disciplining people doesn't mean you lose elections. The NDC lost Bitizidin, they lost Bitizidin, General Secretary, they lost National Chairman Obeda Samoa, they lost Frances CM. Went into 2008 elections with the same people even having a political party running elections. Your former National Chairman is running elections against you, but they won. In 2016, we entered into elections without our National Chairman, General Secretary, and won convincingly. So the only thing is that the resolution by the grassroots is more important than anything. If the grassroots are resolved that we want a change, that change will happen even if you do not have national executives. But there must be sanity in the party. People within the party must respect the laws. If you want to be within that confine, you are here within your newsroom. There are parameters that you don't transcend. So the moment you do that, you have to be cautioned in the first place. But secondly, you have to be punished for it so that it will serve as a deterrent. Because if you have a political party that has laws, and that political party's laws are not being implemented, it means you are in a jungle. And you don't run a political party like that, because people will think that, well, you don't have a proper leadership. If we give you the mandate, you come and still mess up.
On the Kennedy, there's a phone issue. People think that it's a much ado about nothing. Nothing, meaningful will come out of it. He'll be, let loose. He has engaged in, worse cases than this. How do you?
So when you see two women fighting in our traditional setting, the question you ask them is that a DNC nano, what happened
yesterday,
some time back? Not really what happened. There is always a day that someone will be doing worse things. He can do just a simple thing, and that will trigger his removal. I'm not saying Kennedy Japon should be removed from the party. I am only saying that the laws of the party must be applied. I know the committee has people with integrity, and they will make sure that they give him fair hearing. If he's able to really appear before them to explain his issues, I am upbeat that nothing will happen. But if he doesn't appear, it means they will have to report to National Council that also happened. And again, if it doesn't appear, we wouldn't know the scenario until National Council takes that decision.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. All right, so that's how we wrap today's edition or episode of Chitchat. As usual, like, comment, and share. Catch you some other time.